the PTG Podcast, Episode 3. Welcome to the PTG Podcast. My name is Paul Groseclose, also known as PTG, and this is the podcast for young filmmakers like myself. In these episodes, I will cover everything you need to know to make great films and content for YouTube from your bedroom. In this episode of the PTG Podcast, I will be recounting the story of how I became an award-winning director at only 15. Enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the PTG Podcast. I'm really excited that you guys are back with me again. And last episode of the podcast, just want to remind you guys, last episode of the podcast, I explained to you guys how you can make high quality films just with your iPhone or Android device. Now, I referenced in my last episode of the podcast that I won an award for my film Stroke a Documentary, and that film was filmed completely on my iPhone 7. So I figured, why not, since it's the beginning of the podcast, explain to you guys more who I am and also put in some context to last episode of the podcast. So to start off with, my name is Paul Groseclose, as you guys know from the title of this podcast, but I had a stroke on February 23rd, 2016. And that was extremely traumatic for me. But if there's one thing I've learned as a filmmaker, anything that happens to you can become a great story. I'd always loved making films, and I had a franchise on my YouTube channel called the Nerdy Norman franchise, and that franchise is over now because it's getting a little bit cringy. So I had already had a background in making some films, and I knew my way around everything. But when I was going to film this film, I was like, this has to be the highest quality film that I can possibly put together. And my Canon SX520 was really lacking in features, but it was really starting to stunt my growth in my videography skills. Then I remembered my iPhone 7 can shoot in 4K, and I downloaded the Filmic Pro app that I talked to you guys all about, and the film was completely filmed in Filmic Pro. I am not being sponsored by Filmic Pro or any of these other companies. I am not that famous. I am not famous at all. But anyways, I made Stroke a Documentary. I thought it turned out really well, and I entered it into a local film competition. Anyways, I had very high hopes of winning just one award. One award was all I really wanted, just to tell people in my trailers for short films from an award-winning director. That's all I really wanted. So the day of the awards ceremony rolls around, and I'm super pumped. I'm like, oh, please let me win. So we got there. I'm super excited, as you guys could probably imagine. We get inside. We wait around for like an hour, watching all the different contestants on different TV screens, just hanging out, chilling, not doing too much. And then they say, everybody go to the IMAX screen. The winners of this award show was going to be played on an OmniMax screen, which is the IMAX, the biggest screens that you can watch movies on. But unfortunately, the screen was under construction, and we couldn't watch it on an IMAX screen, and we had to watch it on a smaller screen, which was okay. So when they were announcing the winners for my age group, I was extremely nervous, obviously, but they kept announcing different awards like Best Storytelling Award, Best Artistic Vision Award, and those were the ones that I thought I could possibly get a hold of. Anyways, they went through all the awards but Viewer's Choice and Grand Prize. Now, I knew I was going to get Viewer's Choice because I was far ahead of anybody else in the liking category, because they had a time where you could vote for all the videos on YouTube, and mine was like just getting 800 likes, and the one behind me was like 200 likes, so I totally was gonna win Viewer's Choice. But I was really worried that I was only gonna win Viewer's Choice. Don't get me wrong, I would have been totally happy going out of there just with Viewer's Choice, but there's something special about getting an award that actual directors picked for you. So I was holding my breath, trust me guys, I was holding my breath, and then when they didn't change the slide for Grand Prize, I was like, wait, is something wrong? And then they called my name, and I was freaking out. It was honestly the best day of my entire life. If you want to see more of my reaction, how all that went down, really, I made a YouTube video on recounting the entire experience, and there will be a link to that at www.paulgroseclose.com/podcast003. So yeah, that's really kind of the entire story, very crammed down to a bite-sized podcast. But the moral of the story is anybody can create a great film at any age and win awards for it. I'm talking to you. Find a video competition around you that you think you can compete in and win. Make an amazing short film, and I will be here to help you throughout the way. Subscribe to this podcast, and every Sunday you will learn something new. Thank you guys for listening to this awesome episode of the podcast. Just wanted to let you guys know that you guys can make anything you want to make if you put your mind to it. And I also just wanted to share with you my story on how I became an award-winning director at 15. As I said, if you guys go to www.paulgroseclose.com/podcast003, you can find all the links and all the stuff I talked about today. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Subscribe to me on iTunes or Google Play or wherever you listen to podcasts on. I will see you guys next Sunday.